It's the Supporters Channel member PP0476. Here we go then, folks. I think I've had a good transfer window. We now have to find out how hard second season syndrome is going to hit us. Hello and welcome to part 131 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin, coming up on today's episode with our first two games of the new Premier League season, our second season in the Premier League, our first season in the Champions League. We had a good summer. If you missed it, go back and watch it. It was a good time. We've put together what I would consider to be a very good team, which is part of a very solid and well-balanced squad. The media, on the other hand, think we're basically a League One team, which I think is more to do with reputation and the quality of our players, because we finished fifth last year and we've upgraded just about every area of our team over the course of the summer. So I think they're being a little harsh on us. We do have a little bit more money left over. We're not going to get to the transfer deadline day in this episode, but before we get there, we probably will continue to spend, but we do have to bear in mind that we need to fit into a 25-man Champions League squad. We currently have 26 players. Only one of them is homegrown at the club. So as it stands right now, four of these players won't be making the cut in the Champions League squad. And I'd think most of them would be expecting to be in it. So if we're going to be bringing in any more players, we need to ship some more out. We're trying to get rid of Duffy and Graben and kind of work from there. But this isn't about transfers today. This is about finding out just how harshly the Premier League is going to treat us this second time around. Remember, I strongly credit our fifth place finish last year with being our first season in the Premier League team as a club with a tiny reputation and just about every team playing the reserves against us all season long. We're not going to get that kind of treatment this time around. We've actually got a higher reputation than Manchester United now. So let's see how we get on against Brighton, I guess. This is the team. It's Beswick in goal, a back four of Nguesson, Brewers, Agume and Vaughan. So two debuts in the back four. Fanimo moves forward from the defence into midfield to partner Christodoulou, who ended the season in this Segundo Volante role. And we'll be starting this season in it. We'll see if it works, I guess. Two new wingers, Renault and Paranos, with Kerslake deputising as the attacking midfielder today, with the suspension to Ansong, and Musat getting a start up front with the suspension to Pep and injury to Belkacemi, our two superstar new strikers. So we're a little bit light up front, but maybe this is Musat's opportunity to show us that he's going to be the man after all. Obviously, we brought him in last year. He didn't end up scoring necessarily as many goals as I thought he would. Carstairs continued to upstage him all season long, but he's gone back to Scotland. He had his 1 year on holiday in England, finished our top scorer at 33. He's gone back to Scotland and we'll never hear from him again, I imagine. So we need our young strikers to make something of these opportunities. And Nguesson on debut is charging down the left-hand side, doing great work, plays it back to Fanimo. Christodoulou is there. We saw some great attacking runs from him from this Segundo Volante position towards the end of last season. Hopefully we have more of that to come this year. And also worth bearing in mind, we have an enormous team now. It's almost back to how it was that year or two we had when we were down in non-league, when we played with three at the back and they were all like 6'5". Brewers, Agume and Fanimo are all big boys. They're like 6'4", 6'5". I think Brewers is 6'6". We've got some big boys. We are going to be a threat from set pieces, and we need to be, because we've lost our top scorer from last year. We deliberately sold him to make room for new boys. We don't know where our goals are coming from just yet, so we need to capitalise on the corners when they happen. It's a little bit disappointing that one we saw didn't really go anywhere, and we've had 5 others that weren't even worth a highlight. So our set piece instructions doing beautiful work, clearly. Brighton have their first chance of the game just before half time. If they score from this, it's going to be a long old season. They're hovering around on the edge of our area. What a save! Oh my, he's offside anyway, but that was an incredible save from Beswick. That is a positive sign. This is his first competitive game playing in his new role as sweeper keeper. I've wanted a sweeper keeper in the team for a gazillion years. We've actually got a sweeper keeper, a complete wing back, and a Segundo Volante now. All we need is some kind of inverted wing back or full back, maybe a libero, or at least a ball playing defence. We're getting fancy. Should we use a Raumdeuter? Let's use all the fancy systems. Nobody is scoring goals today. yeah, the whole attack not playing very well. We're going to take off Musat, and Williams is going to get the final 20 minutes up front. Kerslake can come off for Cottam. I'm tempted to put Christodoulou forward. No, we'll leave Cottam playing in there. And Renault can come off for the other new boy, Hermoso, who is a winger, not an inside forward, isn't he? So we need to get some personalised instructions set up on these boys. But for now, we'll just try some slightly different personnel and see what happens. I guess in the grand scheme of things, a 0-0 draw away from home on first day of the season is not a bad result. But we want to do better than not bad results. We want good results. Graben getting a rare opportunity to come on and play on the right wing, which is supposedly his best position. And we've run out of players who can play Segundo Volante. So I guess we bring on Kamani Dixon, and he'll just have to be he can be a defensive midfielder. And he can be we'll leave him on the anchor. We'll leave him on anchor. But it does mean we're a little bit more defensively minded. So I think what we will do is just push the wing backs on a little bit more than they have been. I'm trying to drop them back a little bit to account for the fact that Christodoulou isn't really there providing the cover that he was as a ball winning midfielder. But by doing all the extra running, he is going to tire more, I imagine. So it's something we're going to have to manage. I guess the only guy who can realistically do that role as well is Kerslake, who started in a different role today. So he couldn't really come on and do the Segundo Volante. Cottam could probably do it as well. But we're a little bit light in attacking midfield. I said in the last episode, my final signing would probably be a central midfielder, so we didn't have to play centre-backs alongside Christodoulou. Actually, another attacking midfielder might be more sensible, because once you get past Ansong, we don't really have anybody. We let Mortillero leave. We let Lofgren leave. And we haven't really replaced them in that position. So maybe we go and get ourselves an attacking midfielder before the transfer window closes. But what we have done is picked up our first point of the season. I forgot we had this guy coming in. We've got another 18-year-old who is a midfielder. Lee Leake is coming in from Leicester under 21s. He's not ready to play for us yet. We also can't loan him out, though, because we need him to become homegrown at club. So he is going to come in. And we need to make sure he goes straight into the first team squad. So my loan manager doesn't loan him out. Let's make sure he is unavailable for loan, because he needs to sit here for the next 3 years, getting game time when it's available, and 20 aggression. It's going to be fine, but he needs to become homegrown at club, which is literally what he has been brought in to do. So if everyone who can qualify for it does, that will give us in 3 years 4 homegrown at club players, assuming Christodoulou doesn't leave and the others all stick. It's a long game. It's going to be a long time until we have anyone good come through our youth system. So we've got to do it this way. Go play Chelsea. They're one of the best teams in the country. Right, we are trying to make something happen. Graben and Duffy, we've accepted loan offers for both of them that involve future fees. If we can get them both gone, it will allow us to pay the £10.5 million release fee on Sam Lambert, an attacking midfielder who, he's exactly what we want. He's probably even better than Ansong. He's another Belgian. We're collecting Belgians, but he's only 20 years old. Massive upside, massive potential. 6'2", so another big boy. But we do need to get those other guys out of here first to make it happen. So watch this space. That might get done before the next episode. Otherwise, our team is unchanged for the game against Chelsea. We do have Pep back Pep's never played for us, but Pep can come and sit on the bench for us. We've still got Ansong suspended. How long is he suspended for? He's still got 2. What did he do? He's still got 2 more games suspended, and obviously Balkachemi is still going to be unavailable for most of the first couple of months of the season. So we're not going to be able to rely on him for goals yet. We will hopefully get to see Pep come on. I say hopefully. I hope we don't see Pep come off the bench today, because he'll be my first option to come on to replace Musat. And the only reason we don't see him is that Musat scored a hat-trick. So actually, I hope we don't see Pep today. I hope Musat tears the place apart. I'll level with you. I've ordered a Moose hat. If Musat doesn't end up becoming a legend for us, that becomes a silly purchase. These things take their time to come through from Amazon. We've given away a penalty here. I'm not entirely sure what for. It said handball, but it looked like it was Bezic who was getting under it. So I'm not... Someone else has handled, I guess. And Brewers has been sent off for a second yellow card. So he's handled it. Less than 15 minutes. I'm so glad. No more Belgians. Right, I guess Fanimo drops back there. Kerslake drops back there. Can Kerslake do anchor? Not really. We'll make him a ball-winning midfielder. This is not going to be ideal because Chelsea are one of the best teams in the country. We're losing. We're down to 10 men. We didn't really get battered by anybody last season, but I have warned you, second season syndrome is coming. We might be about to get battered by Chelsea. Look away if you are squeamish. What did Brewers get? Hold on. I need to know what he got his first yellow card for, because they've happened so quickly. How do we get this? It's like this, isn't it? Right. Can we see what he did for this one? So for this yellow card, pushing that guy over, and then less than a minute later, so from the resultant free kick, what a pillock. He's punched that. So he gave away the free kick to get his first booking. And then when the cross comes in, punched it, even though he stood next to the goalkeeper for his second yellow card. What an absolute plum. We've spent, what, £8 million on him? He was supposed to be the answer. What on earth was the question? Right. I guess we sit and take our medicine now because our experienced international centre-back has done an absolute madness. Oh, I'm not looking forward to how the rest of this game is likely to turn out. We need Christodoulou to make the step up and become an England international level player like we all hope he'll be. I doubt he's ever going to play internationally, but if he ever makes a step up to that level, today's the day. We also need to capitalise on our set pieces. Once again, we're hitting that near post, but not hitting the guy who stood there, which, bearing in mind how big they are, is not ideal. But Hugo Renault has got the equaliser. I said no more Belgians. He might be Belgian. Extra Belgians. I don't know what the club policy on Belgians is anymore. We are trying to sign another one currently. We're all about the Belgians here. It's 1-1. That was a lovely finish. That guy couldn't get into the Spurs team for the last 3 years, but he's just scored against Chelsea, and it was a lovely finish. And now Vaughan coming down the right-hand side. We're actually looking pretty useful as we head towards half-time. Christodoulou plays it in looking for Paranos, but can't find him. Paranos has got great hair, by the way. Didn't notice that in the first game. Kerslake wins it back, but then gives it away. What was the point in him getting a tackle in if he's then not going to find the guy stood just in front of him that he was trying to pass to? Chelsea carving through us again with their passing. And they've got in behind, who is the number 26? That's Fanimo. I wouldn't expect Fanimo to be beaten that easily, but he was. And yeah, we're behind again. Maybe the thrashing is on. But this was a little bit... I mean, Fanimo's been dragged well out of position because Nguesen has gone forward on that side. Fanimo's got across there to try and cover him. Bearing in mind, Fanimo has spent all summer expecting to be a midfielder this year and has been thrust back into centre-back because of a moment of absolute madness. Or 2 moments of absolute madness. A minute of madness. He just absolutely lost his head inexplicably. Because he didn't need to get booked for either of them. Beswick, lovely work from him. Our nailed-on first-choice keeper these days, Fanimo to Nguesen, and there is Renault, who's already got himself 1 goal. So how do you like a left winger with a number 6 on their back, by the way? I bet some of you are loving that. Christodoulou, very sloppy passing for him. Both him and Kerslake have been a little bit sloppy with their passing, but Renault plays it in. Musat's got him behind, and Musat scores. I tell you what, Renault looks good. And that is a good finish from Musat. That's his first goal of the season. This is exactly what he needs. He needs to establish himself as our main man, our number 9, before the other guys get the opportunity to. Because I think we can all agree, we want me to wear a moose hat for episodes. And I know loads of people are saying in the comments, Curve, it's pronounced mooshat. It might be, but I'm not buying that off the internet. I can buy a moose hat though. So for the purposes of narrative and me looking silly, we are all going to agree to keep calling him Musat, okay? Good. Glad we agree. We've scored 2 goals from 2 shots. That is some chance conversion from us today. Excellent work. I'm going to offer some encouragement. Bearing in mind we're down to 10 men, we're doing remarkably well. But Chelsea now have a corner. You'd like to think now we live in the land of giants, we'd be good at defending set pieces as well. But not only have we not scored from one yet, I mean... that guy's just got his first ever goal. Ah, Football Manager. Why do you have to be the way you are? I don't really want to demand more. We're down to 10 men against the best team, or one of the best teams in the league. We don't expect to get anything out of this. However, we are going to go attacking, and we've got some very tired legs, especially in our midfield. I think we bring on Dixon and Cottam in here, and we just go to a much more normal midfield shape. We'll do that, but swap them to around. Renault needs to come off as well, so Hermoso can come on for him. Musak can stay on for a little bit longer. We are going to look at Pep, though, probably with 10 minutes to go. Unless Musak scores again. Because, I mean, he's had one chance and scored it, so it's a little bit harsh to haul him off. I'm trying to let the guy establish himself as our main striker. Let's not punish. See, Vaughan needs to come off. Castro's coming on for him. I don't think we're going to see Pep today, boys and girls, because Paranos needs to come off. As does Nguesen, as does Fanimo. I guess we take off. We could bring Pep on. Who do we put out to the right-hand side? See, he's only got finishing of 8. We're going to leave Pep out wide, I think. Pep can come on and make his debut out wide. Musak can stay up front as the better finisher. We're going to go very attacking. We're going to offer encouragement, and we're going to cross our fingers. And actually, in the circumstances, this hasn't been a bad performance or a bad result. We haven't created an awful lot, but our finishing's been good. And despite being down to 10 men, we've not been rolled over by Chelsea. So, although we've only got 1 point out of that episode, I hope we're going to be okay this year. I hope. Now I just need to get this last round of transfers to happen. Duffy does not want to... I mean, understandably, doesn't want to drop down and play for Preston. This is where we need a little bit more player interaction in the game. Because I need to be able to say to him, look, Adam, you've been with us a long time. I appreciate everything you've done for us. But you're not going to be in the Champions League squad. So if that's why you're staying, off you pop. You're going to be one of the ones that definitely misses out on that. Because there's several players ahead of you in the pecking order on the left wing. And you can't play any other positions. So you are 100% not playing in the Champions League. Your third choice in the league, go to Preston. You could get regular football there. You ain't getting it here ever again. His response is probably, I've got 2 years left on my contract. You're paying me a fortune, way more than Preston are paying me. But I would bounce that straight back to him and say, they were taking you on loan, you Wally. You're still getting the same salary. Just go and play some football. If you go there and play the way you did in the Championship last time around, you earn yourself a big move. Right, there you go. Let's get Lewis Fletcher to see what he can conjure up. Fingers crossed, eh? We'll know what's happened in the next episode. And the next episode will probably be our first ever game at Stamford Bridge as the home team in the Champions League. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.